Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another of my videos. Before we start, just a couple of things that you might be interested in that have come my way. So let's start with this one, which is Mike Holt, who has a Europe Zoom chat. He says Mike discusses bills of exchange and answers your questions. Join him for his weekly Zoom chat at 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time every Thursday, and everyone is welcome. And there you can see it's a bit.ly thing, so https://bit.ly/Mike Holt Show. And I assume if you got one of those funny graphic readers, I forget what you call those scan things, but anyway, that you can get the link from that. Thursday at 9, Thursday, I believe, from this week. So go and check it out if you so wish. And the other one to have a look at is here, if I can click on the right button. This is the Truth Talks up north, if you are up north. And it's on Sunday, the 23rd of February. I'll probably remind you as we get a little bit closer to the event. A revolutionary special event for our favourite groups, standing as one, together in our sovereignty. And I believe it's in Burnley, the People's Shadow Council it is, but you'll be pleased to see. Look, Mark Byford is there, the Bowl Hat Farmer, and I think it's at the Cricket Club in Burnley. But there we go, yes, Lower House Cricket Club, Burnley, and it's on the 23rd of Feb. You may want to write that into your diary. Brilliant. Anyway, so a couple of things like that. I'm always happy to promote them. In fact, there's another one I meant to promote, and I haven't got it to hand. I'll do it tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen, are we just simply like cattle? You know how cows in a field, you go in a field and they've got these yellow tags, haven't they, with a number on them. And wherever they go, they have to have a passport, they have to have paperwork. And what's being registered and followed and noted is this number all the time. So always that number. Isn't that the same with us? Aren't we the same with our national insurance number or a QSIP number or a birth certificate number, whatever it is? Aren't we just being tagged, not actually physically at the moment, although, of course, with digital IDs and potential chips and all of that, are we not being tagged? I mean, these days, if you've got a mobile phone, you're as good as tagged. You're carrying it around wherever you go so people can see exactly who you are, where you are. And, of course, all the information doesn't need to be on bits of paper. It's all on your phone being sent back to the data server. So it does seem to me like this is exactly what's going on. And all of this comes down to the fact that we have been duped to be a persona, a number that relates to a forename and surname, the legal fiction, or the ens legis, as I believe it is in Latin. And this dead entity, this fiction that we carry around with us, we're in this persona, we think that we're the name that's on the birth certificate. But then again, as I've said many times, if you look at the birth certificate, the copy that you get, if you request one, it says you cannot use this as evidence of identity. So if that doesn't prove who you are, because they made a record of it when you were born, then how do you prove who you are? And this is something I talk about quite a bit. Who are you? Who are you? And how do you prove? How can anyone prove that you are who you say you are? And how can they prove? You've got someone from the council or an enforcement officer or a judge or somebody else saying, are you so-and-so? And if you say, well, no, actually, that I'm not. And they say, well, you are, because you're standing in this house and we've got that registered down at 24 Acacia Avenue in case we're passing. How can they prove? How is anybody able to prove who you are? They can't. I mean, if you say, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. You've written to some dead entity, some legal fiction, some ens legis, but I don't know who it is. I don't know who that is. Who is it? It's not me, because I'm not just a name or words or Latin or a secret language or whatever it is on a bit of paper. I'm not that, am I? The only way that you become that, of course, is if you say yes. Mr. Vobes, yes? Thank you. You've just told us that you are this fake entity. Oh, have I? And also, I'm not a mister. When you're born, your parents, your mum and dad, they don't go down and go, oh yes, that's Mr. Vobes down there, do they? It's a baby. It's a baby. They may be grasping for names. What does he look like? Does he look like a Fred? Does he look like a Joseph? Does he look like an Edward? Is he a Thomas? Sorry, it's a girl. All right, fair enough. It's a Mary then, or a Jill, or some such other name for him. And maybe it's one of those names that you can be both. Why not? After all, who knows what weird decisions that poor little child is going to make as it grows up in a world that is a little bit bizarre and full of unusual ideas. The point is, when this digital nonsense comes in, and the more we acquiesce, the more we agree to it, the more we use our mobile phone, the more we go online and do stuff, the more we basically say, no, we love your system. Well, I'll continue to be this dead entity. I'll continue to be this ens legis, or this legal fiction. I'll continue to act as this character and not be me, and allow you to chip me or allow you to give me a digital identity. You will effectively be like that beast in the field there that goes and will have no authority of its own, because it'll be shifted about and done as it's seen fit to. So to me, it's a fascinating situation, because they have built a whole world in which is a nonsense, isn't it? It's a fake world. It's a fake world in which we step in this theatrical world into a role, into this dead entity, and we play the role. If we say, I'm not actually that person, I am a man, I am one of the people of this landmass we call Great Britain, or whatever landmass that you happen to be on, an Earth, the Earth, whatever it is, whether it's round, flat, square, upside down, inside out, doesn't really matter. Whatever it is, if we say, well, hold on a second, I'm not what you say it is, does that mean, as one of my emailers said today, says, well, I'm slightly concerned, because if I rescind and say I am not this citizen, I am not this creation that you've said I am, that actually I am a soul in a meat suit, that I have a Christian name and that's all I am, or my name is is a sound that people make. It's not in sort of your uppercase and lowercase. It's not in your legalese. It's not in your dead language. It's not in a fake situation. I'm not any of that. What happens? Do they say, oh well, in that case, if you're not that person, your bank account isn't yours, the money isn't yours, the passport isn't yours, the utility bills are not yours. Well, that might be handy. You cannot use the National Health Service if you break a leg or have a road traffic accident. You can't drive your car because that's not you. Well, technically, it isn't us, is it? It isn't us. We're using all this stuff. So the other question then becomes, is that fraud? We are acting as somebody else. I mean, we've been forced into it. So when they haven't disclosed that that's what's happening, that's a secondary fraud, or is that the first fraud? There's a lot of fraud going on. We're acting fraud when we pretend, unknowingly, to be the persona that we say we are, because we've been trained that through school and through university and through life and everybody else, and people write letters, and the government will write letters to a Mr. or Mrs. and we'll say, oh yeah, that's me. So we're acting in fraud because we're pretending to be something that we're not, and we're not that. But because it wasn't disclosed to us, and our parents didn't know, they were fraudulently told the same, then that's fraud too. But where do we go from here? Well, what we really need to do, it seems to me, and there's some people that say, oh, well, we kind of can use the system to our advantage and then get out. But is that laudable if we're all acting in fraud? It's their fraud. So does one fraud cancel out another fraud? I don't know. It's beyond me. I would like to not have this system at all. I would like to be able to go and set up a bank account in the name of Richard of Biggleswick, for the sake of argument, and not be the name of my own choice, be who I would like to be represented by, and have contracts, if you like, or shaking your hand, my word is my deed, with the people, not with other dead entities, not with the corporations, not in commerce. I don't want to be part of that system. But does it mean that in the end, ultimately, that we've all got to move away, get on a bit of land, and be pretty much self-sufficient, and say, until that system collapses, I'm out of it, and I'm not this, and say, look, you can have your passport back, you can have your bank account back, and I'm not even going to use your fake money, your fiat currency that's backed by anything. I'm not even going to use that. I'm just going to use gold and silver to trade with one another. And I'm going to basically only trade with like-minded people who are out of the system and growing their own food. So I'll grow, I don't know, some potatoes and carrots, and you'll have some milk and chickens, and we'll swap. And I'll, if I don't want to swap, I'll give you some gold, and you might go over to that bloke who's very good with his hands and can make cabins and barns and beds and furniture and things like that. It just seems to me that we've almost got to flatten this old system, this carbon copy of what we really want, and just deny it and say, well, no, I'm not having it. And then if everybody did that, it would just disappear, wouldn't it? We could actually have a much better and more exciting and thrilling world, and get rid of this dead entity, blood-sucking world in which they're after us. Anyway, just a thought. In the meanwhile, just don't forget, you could check out this on the 23rd, or if that's of no good, check out this one with Mike at his Zoom calls. Thank you very much for watching. It's been lovely to talk to you. Till next time, bye for now.